I was home. I got to the office today.
I may run home at 3:45 and grab my daughter.
Comments are 4, so you don't want to hear me talk, and don't be there at 4 o'clock. But it's 3:30, it's just open, so you can wander around. It will be there till like 5.
Yeah. She doesn't have the bus until like 10 to 3 or 10 to 4. Yeah, for some reason I thought I had you on the calendar.
That's good.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep. I'll mention that here too. I couldn't officially say it last week. For now, anyway. I hope it stays that way for a while.
See what you need.
What?
We got a meeting coming up on Thursday.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, she hasn't gotten back. I haven't heard. Have you?
Well, so I haven't seen it. I don't know. This week was just. Yeah, every time I turn around.
It's just, there will be
Yeah, that's fine. I'll pass them around. Okay.
I mentioned to Jean that the conservation didn't get their stuff turned in time. So there's a few bills here that are not on the payable report if you want to just take a look at them.
So is that the cover copy?
I think so. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
So they didn't get all their bills. They got some bills.
They got none turned in. Those are the ones they didn't get their bills turned in. So that's their bills. They just sent a second bill date.
I
I mean, roads weren't in there, we know.
Yeah.
But conservation, you know, especially this time.
Yeah.
Geez, I got any secondary roads. Cool. So horse.
They
Big bill
can't be
day.
an elected official position, spending that much money.
You guys approved it.
You should do like this, I guess, answer more questions.
No, you guys approved the purchase.
Thanks, Corey.
I was just surprised that you got it that quick, you know, because I'm like, oh, we just.
What do you mean, like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I seen no one go down the road.
Nope. How to get
Got to pay for it first.
radio and lights on and good stuff.
So the old one's still in service?
Yep. Day to day. Depends if it's at the doctor or not.
I saw something.
Who's joining? Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Okay, we have approval of the agenda. Courtney tells me that we need to let him take number 3 off as they have a situation popped up that they're not going to be able to be here. And then if we want to add the weed commissioner's annual report to the agenda, we can do that. We'll probably put that as D, secondary road.
With the removal of the GIS quarterly report and adding the weed commissions under the secondary roads, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Morning again, Rich.
Morning.
And then also we have the approval of the minutes. We have the ones of last week, and then also the one for last week, Wednesday. You want them second recording? Okay, let's just do them all both together before November 15th and also November 17th. Your motion to
I'll
approve.
make that motion to approve November 15th minutes and November 17th minutes.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Carried. Motion carried. Okay, the first thing we have on the agenda is Carroll County Historical Society fiscal year 23 funding request. Barb?
Good morning, Barb.
Good
Morning, Barb.
morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me and letting us make our case. I brought a show and tell today. Notice that our chicken is wearing eyeglasses. I didn't know about these till this last year. Neighbor down the road donated those. Years back when they didn't remove the big tooth, chickens would peck at each other. So these eyeglasses were put on so they wouldn't cannibalize each other. I think it's the cutest thing. Can you hear me okay? I can take this off.
I've got some of those at home.
Do you really? I never heard of
was
that.
aware of that.
Really?
How many pair would you like?
You have more?
I have quite a few.
few. Oh, here I thought I was bringing something new and different.
Nobody have ever heard it before.
I guess I am not as old as I thought I was.
Thank you.
We're dating ourselves.
This is the farming community too, and people did have chickens back when we were growing up. So.
I hate the chicken chores.
Thank you for pointing out Dean's and I age. That's appreciated.
Hey, my pleasure. I'll be there soon. We had a really good year, especially when you compare it to last year. We had so many people come and visit and just seem to enjoy themselves at all 4 sites. And we had a pretty busy summer. Well, it started early. I'm always open for appointments at the museums, even though we're officially open right after our annual open house there in June. I get calls and I'm always ready to go down there and help people with the tour or whatever research they're doing. Our open house celebrated the 150th anniversary of the schoolhouse, Maple River number 5. And I got a lot of attention this summer because a couple of homeschooling groups asked me if I would give lessons, an old one-room schoolhouse lesson. And I did that in September. We had, 17 kids there, so it was a fun thing. And then the Iowa Country School Preservation Conference was in Otabote. So I was able to present there as well on the schoolhouse on Maple River number 5. So that was a lot of fun to do. Let's see, another interesting thing, and it dealt with the conservation office too. There was an unveiling of an interpretive panel at the M&M Divide there right outside of Arcadia. And one project I would like to do is more as a part of the Lincoln Highway thing, but also the original design was to have a picnic table there at that place. And over the years it was gone. And I think it would be nice to kind of spearhead a project to get another picnic table there, because it was meant as a rest stop too, originally. Place for travelers to stop on the Highway 30. Let's see, the Hyder tractor is going pretty good. It starts well, it'll run. Members of the Hyder family came back last summer and they were introducing their kids to it. So that was fun again to show that off. And they were really interested in what we've done with the Hyder. Let's see. I think I've hit most of the highlights. We had an extra open house this year on Van Day. We had almost 20 people there. So that was fun. We have the blueprints to the Carnegie building now digitized, which was quite a project. A lady from the Carnegie Institute here in Iowa came to visit the museum, and she thought things weren't really adding up like they should. And we looked at the revisions to the blueprints, and there were a lot of changes. Do you remember where the where the main desk is now in our museum, straight in as you go. It used to be to the west side. And you could not go downstairs as you entered. That was a closet there. The downstairs, the stairwell was in the back office. They're right straight in back of the front desk. That's where the stairwell was. So that was really interesting to study that. We've had a lot of fun acquisitions too. The Starline Ballroom booth is the most fun. It's up in the Farmstead barn with the original gum underneath the table. And it's fastened down good. People can sit in that if they want to bring back memories. The board members thought it was wise not to do our fundraiser that we usually do at Pizza Ranch. So Paula Moore has donated some of her father's prints. Wendell Moore had an art studio and an antique shop down in Bentonsport. And he would come for the Carroll Arts Council activities back in the 80s when there were a lot of grants. You remember we had Art in the Park, and a couple of years it was in the mall too. So that's his connection with Carroll County. He's passed away, and his daughter donated a lot of prints that we hope to be able to sell to raise some money for at least $10 to $20 a piece. So that's what we're going to try to do. Do you have any questions?
I have one.
Oh, no.
Did you decide on that couch that I showed?
Oh yeah,
you,
I told the
chair?
girls upstairs. I can't think of it.
Yeah, go ahead. Darn it. Okay.
You know, I was trying to think of other organizations, you know, like even a church that has a big enough, you know, room for parents and their kids. That's a beautiful chase.
Yeah. Okay.
But I just can't get it anywhere. Getting that booth up in the barn was quite a problem.
So how has the barn worked out for you since you were able to seal it?
It is wonderful. I won't say it's mouse proof. I threw out another one yesterday, but compared to the problems we had, it is absolutely nothing. And probably shouldn't say it out loud, but I don't have to dust that often. I used to do that. That barn is tight now. It really is. When there's a good southeast wind, then that roller door is not as tight as I'd like it to be, but you know, compared to what we had, this is wonderful.
Good. Well, you're short on space, and so
yes, we
that hopefully that helped.
It really does. The last acquisitions have gone to the barn. They fit in. Dr. Alan Annenberg donated some things. His son called me. We have a metal cabinet out there in our little medical partition thing. And like I said, the booth went out there, but they're reaching our limits. So,
yeah. So you get a lot of traffic? I mean, I'm just curious. I never take the time to do it. I really should,
I have with the barn. It's hard to say because it's always open.
Well, I mean, everywhere.
Oh,
you know,
yes,
like, it
was really up this last year because people were anxious to get out and go, and I had a lot of calls to go through the schoolhouse. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had a sorority wanting a tour and a presentation on the schoolhouse, and then having their meeting in the museum. So it's getting back to normal again.
Okay.
So.
Any other questions for it? Did I see you're back to normal request for funding? I think
yes.
4,000 last year. You cut it back on the COVID.
Yeah, we had a major surprise with that stair lift. The first set of batteries lasted 9 years. And so I kind of forgot that it was running on batteries. All of a sudden it wasn't working. It was dinging like it did with the batteries. So I called the guy and he'd bring some batteries. It turned out it was the charger. And it's gone over its life expectancy too. So we shouldn't complain, but it was a pricey business because now we have to go to a company in Des Moines. We started with home care because it was local. Times have changed.
Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you very much.
And I appreciate that show and tell. Even though some of us didn't know there was glass.
Oh, you have really surprised me because I had never seen them and we had always raised chickens.
Mine are aluminum.
No,
So-
that is different.
Are yours aluminum? Or?
Yeah, mine are all aluminum also.
Well,
And
I have
how-
a donation then to the Historical Society.
Yes, very good. Are yours, this is like a celluloid, like you used to make collars out of? Are yours a little bit more 50s than?
They're solid aluminum, and there's just the cotter pin is also aluminum that goes through there to hold it onto the beak. I can't see yours well from here, but
I don't think that ours were, I mean, we used them when I was a kid. So I was born in 52 and I wasn't able to get out and help until probably the 60s. So
Well, that
I'm
would have
guessing
been
it's probably the 60s.
something I would have liked to see, taking each chicken and doing that. And some styles were like little hooks that they could more leather.
Well, I think they made different colored glass too, didn't they?
Ours are
different
all
reasons, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I think for different, they had some issues with their eyes too.
That's one thing about this job. I find out so much I don't know.
Yeah, you know more than the rest of us, I'm sure, Barb, about the history of the county.
Thank you, Barb.
Thanks, Barb.
I appreciate your time.
Barb.
I'll give you this on.
Okay, next we have is secondary roads.
Morning. We have one utility permit today. This is for Raccoon Valley. This is section 36 of Pleasant Valley, getting electric service underneath 280th Street to development down there. They're already working on construction, I believe, but nothing out of the ordinary as far as getting power underneath the road, just boring underneath from the existing overhead power on the south side of the road.
How much construction is now on this project?
I believe the footings are in.
You know, according to the yes. That's.
Are they moving their facility out there?
Huh?
Are they moving their whole?
I believe that
this is a separate new enterprise.
Interesting.
There's my main concern here is if what they're going to do in the sewage system is separate. That's going to take
but that's not.
You do?
Yeah. It's called it's called slaughterhouse. That common house, so I call consider an extra.
So there wasn't voting yet. Okay.
I force you.
Well, I'm more concerned about what they're going to do for sewage.
And that is a wetter area down there. That's
all right. And I think this also ties into, there's also flat wet north too.
Yep. Yeah, same location there.
No, actually, this
well, I mean, it's
the
same about in the same location. Yeah, same area.
This is just the flat is right next to this lot. Okay, is there any questions else on the utility permit? If not, we need a motion to approve the utility permit.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, second it. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Okay,
thank you.
next construction update.
We Midwest Contracting did very well. They moved in not last week, late the week before, started to remove the bridge on Sycamore. And as of last Friday morning, they had it complete and the road will be opened up today. Made really good time, and weather worked out real well. So it really went very, very well. But the two things that are left to do is we have fence to install, which we're going to try to get done yet this week. And then next spring, we'll get some seeding to do. But other than that, should be good to go. So that's really probably the last construction that we'll have this year with winter weather coming in. So, but that's the last one we had planned as well. So. As far as a department update, two things there. One, we did receive our grade all, as you've probably seen in the bills. That got delivered last week. So we don't have it in service yet. We're working on getting the radio put in and lights and things like that. But it is here and it is operational if we need it. So, and we also hired Brett Honish as the equipment operator. He started this morning to replace our last person leaving. So we're back at full staff now and hopefully get him acclimated a little bit before Mother Nature decides to throw something at us. So.
Any questions for Zach? Zach and I did go on tour Thursday, and fortunately we were actually the first to drive over the Bugs Tower. But we did tour Maple River, Mount Carmel, and some other projects. And I am going to send an email back to the Smiths to kind of respond to their question if you all have. Mount Carmel's roads are pretty decent, fair shape for the time that they've been done. The only big issue there's a few spots for the braking, particularly I'd say on intersections where traffic is turning. But Mount Carmel is a lot worse, and that is probably Maple River. Yeah, excuse me, Maple River is a lot worse. And that's mostly due to topography. There's so much erosion along the edge. So I think Zach's going to look at that through this winter months and different options of what to do with different places. And there's no response back to here, and we'll be looking at it. Okay. Any other questions?
So you said you're putting lights on the Grado? For what we paid for it, doesn't have lights?
Would have been more. not lights, amber flashing lights, like those lights. So we can buy lights and install them for quite a bit cheaper than what they were gonna.
You think for $436,000?
Yeah, they could throw some lights on it, right?
Good thing, but
jeez.
For that.
So they have a horn?
I think so.
Bluetooth.
It's crazy, but yeah, we looked into it, a few different options, but that was one that we decided we would take care of ourselves just for what cost it was going to be. So
okay. Any other questions, Frank? All right, let's move on to the weed commissioner's report. If you've got that in your packet. I don't see any major issues with this, except I question that on the Palmer Armor app that these figures that's only not a major problem. It's very probably not a problem. I think a bigger problem what we want to get, especially in the ag industry. Any questions on that report? This shows all the different chemicals he uses and rates per acre.
Otherwise, there's not many changes really from last year.
A little less on herbicides, I believe.
I'll make a motion to approve the weed commissioner's report.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the commissioner's report. Any further discussion? Well, I know it's from you here. Individuals trying to notify public. So. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Contrary? Motion carried.
You are going to respond to the constituent from Mount Carmel sometime soon with a plan.
Yeah, well, I'm going to respond an email that we're going to be looking at different options over the winter.
Oh, okay.
Not promising anything. You know?
Okay. Okay.
I might squeeze it for this day. Want me to wipe that out?
I think Tommy needs to sign it.
Yeah.
If he can't get by the wipe it out. Kind of put it
He did. We need a copy of it. I think we sent it in, don't we?
Yeah, I have a copy that's not signed, but I don't think
I can email you a copy to sign with you on that. Okay.
Well,
right.
You know, as far as looking at like the Middle River, you know, I mean, we've always had problems, not only the topography, but the truck traffic that's in that community as well.
Yeah.
It's an issue, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's just, we'll have to deal with that going forward.
That street where the truck traffic is actually didn't look that bad.
There's a couple spots. Other than that, it's really holding up quite well for what it's being subject to.
So you're looking where the plumber lives there? So
we drove by there.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, that doesn't drain very well there, simply because of the fact that if you look at that, you know, underneath the culvert, it's almost virtually plugged. So there's been some issues there, but you know, the one good thing is that we certainly addressed the issues down by the railroad tracks when Dave was here. We don't have that pooling water anymore. We don't have that broken in there like it has been in the past. And you know, since we put that solid steel pipe underneath, that really made a big difference and paved that and got the water away.
Well, we wound up to go that and the shoulder project things. We'll looked at different pavements that are what condition they are. Particularly the one southeast of Lanesville. See, I stopped thinking the one from 71 to Litterdale.
Yep.
We looked at a lot of them. Sad to say, we're never going to get caught up. Well, somebody drops a ton of money in our laps. But maybe it's a nature beast.
What did Crawford County do last year? I mean, they must have ran into a pile of money because they just did miles and miles and miles of paving.
They banked up, I think, their SDP account, their farm market account, and I'm not sure if they bonded for some to do some more. I'm not sure how they did. They did, I think, roughly 30 miles. But
is that all?
I think that's what it was.
30,
35.
I'm not sure they got it all done.
It could have been.
Well, yeah, but boy, they really made a lot of improvements over there.
They did.
I'm surprised at 30 miles.
I was thinking it was around $9 million they spent. It's roughly the number that I remember.
We drove OCO, the road around I call it bypass our paving. I mean, these are roads that are all starting to crack up, particularly like the OCO, the wheel traveled area is really, if you do that from Arcadia to County Line, that's 8 miles.
8.5 miles, though.
So we're talking some big money there.
Well,
and probably that we've been able to do the wider paving on it, except for we have to do some shoulder right around the curves.
Around the curves, so they need some attention there, but the rest of it's got earth shoulders already, so that's a benefit.
Well, I drove up to Blackhawk Lake here last week, and on the way up there, I got behind a quad axle under applicator, and this was on 6 Mile corner going north, actually through Wall Lake, and he was on the breaking the shoulder off, just big time. I mean, I couldn't see where it's breaking off, but you know, he's not doing it. He's not doing it any good.
It's not a good place for the weight to be.
No, but and so you know, I guess I'm on it whenever we do projects, even going forward. You know, I always encourage increase that shoulder.
We talked about that, and I think especially in areas that are highly traffic roads.
Yeah.
Some other roads maybe aren't gated bypass, probably not, but it's not as much traffic. I think we'll have to pick and select some roads.
So southeast lanes, it's probably not. But that's just gonna be a benefit there. It's a granular shoulder, which they never had before. I mean, they had a couple feet, and that was about it. Now we have probably 6 foot of earth shoulder there now for what we have built. Some places 7. So it's definitely an improvement.
And I would say where they did that earth shoulder, they did a nice job. I mean, it's big improvement. And then to get that done and working the confines of the right of way that we have and make it work, they did a good job. So it was an interesting day. We were planning with train 77. Okay, let's move on to payables. We have the payables, and I think there was also some additionals this morning that were passed around and everybody's seen. Does anybody have any questions on payables?
I do. Page 7. Alan Brink's mowing for $750. What is that?
That is that includes the sewer system in Mount Carmel and also their secondary roads. That's for the year.
Okay. It is an increase more than the year before. It's more than the year before.
Yeah. But so it's those properties up.
What do we have in the building?
Mostly tires, tire storage facilities we have. There is a few other things up there, but tires is the majority of the things we have there. Try to keep definitely a number of motor bear tires as well as truck tires on hand, especially now. Availability has become a problem. So
when you need tires, you have to go up there and get them.
We do. We have other places. We have some in Carroll, but we don't have to go up there often. But we do have to go up there to get them if we need the ones out of there.
When the jail opens, will that space you have out there that the sheriff has, will that become yours?
I'm assuming not, because they put other things in there that wouldn't be able to go here.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah, that's
like, we read the items, right?
Right, bigger evidence stuff out there.
I'd love to have it. Just curious.
Yeah, that's good. Or let's say there was some sort of issue with the vehicle that was involved in something. That's evidence they take out there. Or if there's, let's say, a piece of farm equipment or shop tools that are the evidence. That kind of stuff.
We have some tires up at Depot. We have some over in Arcadia, where we can make them fit.
Well, I'm just wondering if that's a.
At some point in time, ideally, it'd be nice to have them sitting here in Carroll and not have that.
Yeah, I mean, can you sell that structure and then probably build something down here that can hold all the tires? You know,
possibly. It's about space now. I mean, you think we would have had plenty of space with one that.
Really, you don't have any space down there now?
Take a drive.
Speaking of the fuel depot, are we ever going to go above ground tanks? That was a topic a couple of years ago.
At some point, we're gonna have to decide what the next plan is there. I mean, it's for probably on borrowed time with that system.
I remember Dave saying we were on borrowed time.
Yeah, I think that's where it's gonna go the next time.
I think that'd be the smart move. I mean, it'd be from a permitting and probably cost standpoint as well.
Would you keep it just throwing something at the same space?
I think I'd like to. That probably fit better than other places. So, but we have to figure out how we'd stage that construction. There's definitely some questions to get answered there on what we can and can't do.
Okay, let's go back to the claims. Is there any other additions to the claims or questions? No. Is there a motion to approve the claims?
I'll make that motion with the addition of the conservation commission add-ons.
Okay.
I'll second.
Then moved and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carried. Motion carried. Okay, next we have is interfund transfers. First one we have is interfund transfer from rural service basic fund to secondary roads in the sum of $1,156,696.
I'll make a motion to approve the interim operating transfer from basic funds to secondary roads in the amount of $1,156,696.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. Any further discussion? If not, roll call.
Myers?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Hussman?
Yes.
Shetler?
Yes.
Ruggles?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, then we have
It's down below it.
okay, next one is for there's no one secondary roads too.
General basic fund.
Probably on the back side of yours.
Okay, secondary general basic and secondary roads in the amount of $129,648.50. Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Then moved and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Or roll call.
Myers?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Hussman?
Yes.
Shetler?
Yes.
Ruggles?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Then we have one for tax TIF, and that is for tax increment financing from Fund 0030 to Local Option Fund 0019 in the amount of $25,402.99. Is there a motion to authorize that?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and second. Any further discussion? About this part of it.
I was just going to tell you, yeah, it's the ICP.
That's what I was wondering.
We're about to.
I believe that we'll have one more roughly about the same dollar amount this spring. And then according to my spreadsheet, there will be about $60 left is all.
$60.
So that will be paid in full, and then we can.
Maybe we get them to do it all at the same time.
I don't think so.
And then what'll happen is that'll go back to the taxing entities, and that township will be able to recoup that value that we've been getting our TIF from. So yeah, it'll be probably an active TIF when I go to do evaluation. So those townships and that school, I believe it's Glidden Ralston School and Grant Township. I think it's Grant, or is it Glidden?
No, that may be good. I'm not sure. It's close.
I'll notice a difference. I mean, it's pretty significant.
Yeah.
Okay. There's been a motion and a second. And no further comments. Roll call.
Myers?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Austin?
Yes.
Shetler?
Yes.
Ruggles?
Yes.
Motion carries. I'm gonna pass these resolutions around. Rich, these just stay in house, so next time you're in the courthouse, I'll have you sign, if that's okay.
Okay, thank you. Hopefully this week, maybe.
Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah. We'll see after today.
Okay, next we have is approval of plat. This plat is in Pleasant Valley Township, section 36. This plat is currently east and north of the plat that we talked about that where the project is at North Carroll. Is there any questions on that plat?
Platting off an acreage. Is that what they're doing there?
Well, there's no acreage. This is the area that we basically north of where the old school used to be at North Carroll, if you understand that.
Yeah.
And then it goes up so far and then it wraps around the north side of where that processing plant is.
Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse. Why they these people own that all that property around that area anyway, except these other flat little lots. But why they're splitting off, I don't know. And odd shape like that around the north. But they own their property.
She thought it was going to be a house.
Okay.
I think the future, that's the plan.
Yeah,
It's having I think they just wanted more area, is why they added the north.
Oh, so that access probably more. That could be, I don't see footage on that. That makes sense. But it's not an established acreage.
No, but they platted off 6 acres, so something's happening. Can you permits? I'll make a motion to approve that plat.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and second to approve the plat. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Okay, next we have is a community development block grant. This is all stuff that's due to the housing program that we're involved with. Am I right, Courtney?
Right. The contract, and then the award letter just states that we've been awarded the CDBG grant in an amount not to exceed $211,500. This is the second one.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the signature of the contract for the development of DPA program? Move. Seconded?
Yep.
Motion carried. Oh, wait a minute. Excuse me, let me back tonight in case two of you say. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Not carried. Motion carried. Next is approval to sign the award letter. Is there a motion to that effect?
So much.
I'll second it. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary. Motion carried. Okay. Chase Rob. Okay, next is to approve authorization of chair to sign the 2022-21 certification of cost allocation plan. This is the plan that we use to also get reimbursed from DHS over there on that other building and stuff. So I think that's about $22,000 back.
24,198.
Is there a motion to that effect?
But let's see here. There was an expense for that. Did I see it in payables?
Yeah, 41.25.
I was going to say.
Yeah, we're required to do that. So.
Yeah, that's one of the things that. Yeah,
they're twisting our arm and making us pay that. Yeah.
That's in order to get reimbursement back from DHS.
So we're still money ahead.
So is there a motion to approve the certification of cost allocation plan?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Is there a second to that? Oh, okay.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Contrary. Motion carried.
I will say it's kind of funny on their spreadsheet, the abbreviation for courthouse, they literally took out the OU.
I'm not just gonna shoot
Here.
So they did an abbreviation for the courthouse, and all they did was take out the O and the U. So it's C or TH house.
Yeah, and I didn't print the plan off for you because it was like 74.
I saw that.
Yeah, there's a lot of pages.
Well, they take into consideration time you spend in it, all the legal and everything else gets all thrown in there. Break that down. Anyway,
pretty convoluted.
Let's put it this way. I remember when we went and moved to cost allocation company, the company we were doing before that was, I think at that time, twice as much. These people have done much. Okay, next we have is a fireworks permit.
What is this for?
It's for Central
Church.
Christmas Eve.
Christmas
For
Eve.
Christmas Eve.
I thought it was November 17th. Or is that when they filled it out? I didn't know that at Christmas Eve.
Well, I turned it off because it's upside down, so I can't read it.
Well, when I scan it, we have a new scanner and it's backwards. Like
from what I'm used to. We have to put everything in the office. I apologize for that.
All right, so this is a fireworks permit for Christmas Eve for Central Church.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and second to approve the fireworks permit. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carried. Motion carried. Okay, thank you. All right, next we have some committee reports.
I'll go first. Mine's the easiest. The 17th, attended by a Zoom, the SEH meeting. I thought that was a pretty good meeting. I think we moved forward. That was all I had last week. Upcoming this week, the 24th, I have a governance meeting for mental health, and I'll be attending that via Zoom.
That it for you, Rich?
That's it. Oh,
Okay.
I did. Well, I guess I did do I don't know. Did I do the radio last week in the paper?
Yes, you did.
I don't remember. Last week was kind of a blur.
Well, as long as it's positive from now on, that's the main thing.
Yeah, that's right.
I will go next. On Tuesday, I did attend the redistricting meeting that was here. Now, Wednesday, attended the SEH. And I will say that I did forward you the new drafts and the new preliminary report this weekend, so you should have that all in your emails. Courtney and I got that, I think, late Friday, wasn't it? And I really haven't had a chance to look at that myself. Thursday, I did the tour with Zach, as I told you, very enlightening. Friday was the Yes Center board meeting up at Cherokee, and that place is just something else on the board.
Is the state stepping in?
Oh, we're so goddamn busy. I tell you what, I have never, and I've been on that board 21 years, and I'll just tell you, the current accounts receivable for last month, and this is for all fairly current, was $163,552. We normally maybe see 20,000, but
I saw one of their cars here 2 different times on Friday, 2 different people.
Well, and we will be having a driver from Carroll County. One of our officers here is going to work part-time on that, so there will be eventually a car down.
But so that thing's really picked up, hasn't it?
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Transports.
Of transports, there's probably $20,800 that is transports. And I mean, they're just, they hired 3 more new transporters. We hired 4 new staff up in the office, which is turnover up there also. Well, Polk County's been housing them up there, and Polk County's bill this last month was almost $30,000. But they have averaged 12.29 for the month. They were at 12 Friday when I was up there. Just been busy. They also signed a contract with Unity Point out of Sioux City for transport and mental health. So yeah, it's just, we're thinking we're going to have to get another car. It just seems like we keep adding cars, and this, I question this. And there's a point where we can't. Well, we got to stop. And you go so far, you're going to wind up losing efficiency. So anyway, the only thing probably down about our meeting was that health insurance is they're expecting to grow 41%. I guess they've got some issues that up there, like claims and stuff.
So did they have any? You said you had $125,000 in accounts receivables.
162,000.
160. So are they having any problems with collections?
No, that was 163,000. That's all furnished. I mean, we say 45 days or 60 days at the most. Maybe we have some time where somebody will sit here and then they question whose it actually is, you know, if it's this kind or that kind because of placement and stuff. But and our bill for last month was $3,078. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Just crazy.
I mean, from a business perspective, that's fantastic. But from what services they provide, it's sad because those are troubled individuals.
Yeah. Well, and the problem is this thing is it's not where you can guarantee that's where it's going to be every month. It just goes up and down. You know, it's one of them, again, full moon seems to make it correct. And if it's summer months or winter months. So, all right, that was my week last week. This week I have, I just found out I've got to do sign some documents out of new opportunities. And then we're planning on attending the open house at Good this afternoon. And then Tuesday I have a CADC board meeting at noon.
Last week I attended the same redistricting meeting and SEH meeting. This week I had newspaper and radio today.
Same, SCH. I did not attend the redistricting meeting in a different meeting. I also had daycare. We did put out an internal inquiry about filling the director's position. So we had 3 applicants come back, so they're doing some interviews this week to fill their position. And then we made the decision, but they're going to do a fundraiser this year. They didn't last year, and the monies will go to the current staff for handling this last challenging 2 years. Then last week. And this week, tonight, or this afternoon, I will attend the regional open house on Thanksgiving.
Okay. Yeah, last week I attended the redistricting meeting on Tuesday, the SEH meeting on Wednesday, and I would agree. I thought that went very well. I think you know, that was according to the timeline our last meeting with SEH, but we got the understanding that they will continue to work with us in the future. So there's more work to be done under the current contract.
Did you look at the updated?
Yeah, that looks pretty good. The one that Gene sent out.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks good. At the same time, simultaneously, there was a Region 5 hazmat meeting that Sarah Anderson, my alternate, took that meeting, Zoom meeting, and it was very brief. I think she said it was only like 25 minutes, but it was the budget approval meeting. So I discussed that about the budget really hasn't changed much. There's been an increase in salaries, and but going forward, and I think I mentioned that you know, the part of the agenda that's mobile or moves is the equipment of dollars available to purchase equipment. That used to be like at one time at a high of $18,000 a year. I think it's now at $5,700 a year. So it keeps going down, but I think there's going to be, I think the counties are going to stand firm on the $1.50 per capita and no more. And we do have.
Use them in 2021. The Carroll County call for a week.
I don't think so. There is, we do have dollars in reserve for the old unit that we sold to Manson. So that's like $38,000. So even if we have to get into that, I mean, we got several years down the road before we're going to have some issues. Then on Thursday, had a Board of Health meeting. Paula Clucky from New Opportunities reported on the programs, the maternal, child, adolescent health annual report numbers came in, and they were very favorable. The only thing is that because of COVID, a lot of numbers are down as far as, you know, the people that need these services are not coming. They're just
shying away.
Yeah, they're, you know, it's just, yeah, it just, I think it just took them out of their routine. And now they have different routines, and it's not really as important to them. One incident is they had 4 critical need dental situations in Carroll and Audubon County. One 5-year-old had a $7,000 visit to the dentist. So yeah, that was the biggest problem with all the programs right now, is that they're just not well attended by those that need the services. Not much new in environmental health. The Iowa Department of Public Health, Heather Bombi, the district representative, was there. She reported on the grant that we get from IDPH of $55,000 that gets split between home care aides and public health. It's going to stay the same, but it's going to change. Starting in fiscal year 23 to 24, at least 25% of the funds must be used towards population health. In fiscal year 25, 50%. In fiscal year 26, 75%. And by 27, 100% of the funds must be used toward population health. What it really just means is that it's the same, the money is not going to go anywhere different. It just has to be reported differently. It just has to be reported. So it's nothing to be concerned about, except, and who knows, with the changes with IDPH and Department of Human Services and that merger, that could actually even, this could actually even change before it actually goes into effect. So anyway, that was what Heather reported. Public health nursing, everything looks pretty good. We're just getting started on the year as far as the deliverables for that. So the numbers are, you know, which they would be normally at this time, are low as far as things like the flu clinics are up. Those are good. But there again, it's just like things that I always felt were important that our public health does, and one of them is just foot assessments. You go around and to the elderly and the nursing homes and stuff like that and do foot assessments. People who cannot, these elderly people who cannot take care of themselves that way, you know, at least they can get out, they can see these people. And a lot of times a foot assessment can tell you a lot about the person's health and general health. And hopefully that will pick up in the future here. But like COVID has done to a lot of these programs, it held them back. They're not able to do, weren't able to do as much as they would have liked to. As far as COVID, 68% of the population, adult population in Carroll County is fully vaccinated, compared to 55% by the state. The positivity rate as of Thursday was 10.8. And there have been 2 deaths reported in recently, I would say. So, that's it for the Board of Health meeting. we did some rescheduling as far as the Stephen group on interviews. There were quite a few interviews held last week. There's more people that will be interviewed. Sarah Anderson wasn't on the original list with emergency management. She's now on that list. And Heather Bombay from the Department of Human Services will also be on that list. So that thing keeps building up steam as we go on. This week, all I'm going to do, I guess, is eat turkey. So I don't have anything yet.
I will also comment that this week with up in Cherokee, and also I was down in Ryan's yesterday. I have had a lot of comments in regard to tours in the jail. There was a gentleman yesterday that was found that his brother killed we have a lot of comments. Louis Fowler from Pocahontas is here. The other thing is that Rich and I Scott and I are trying to set up union negotiation dates. It looks like tentatively we'll probably do that from December 20th. Ben, is there any comments from those online?
No comments online.
Any comments from those in attendance? Or do you have anything?
Not really. Do you guys want to know what's going on next week?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll set that public hearing for the redistricting. I'm not sure exactly what we want to call that, redistricting plan submittal or whatever, but we'll set that for the 20th of December. Sarah will have her quarterly for GIS, and Carroll Area Child Care Center will be here with their funding request for next year. I cannot remember the gal's name. That was
Keely.
Yeah, but somebody will be here for next year, and we'll find out what it is.
All right, good enough. I guess this recording, let's try it. If that December 20th day works, let's try to keep that board meeting short. We could probably try to do secondary roads after that, and that start too late.
Oh, sure.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Good to see you, Rich. You're on mute.
Oh.
You're on mute.
You're muted.
Can't hear you.
Hopefully it will be in person soon.
Okay.
I hope.
Take care.